everyone, I'm Marian Calder, Public Education Specialist with the Horry County Museum, and today we're going to talk to you a little bit about our wildlife. Part of our mission here at the museum is our natural history of Horry County, and one of the coolest parts of our natural history are black bears. So black bears are the only kind of bear that we find in South Carolina. There are two large populations of black bear across the state of South Carolina, one in the western region of our state and the other along the coastal area. Believe it or not, we actually have in Horry and Georgetown counties some of the largest populations of black bears in our state. We don't often see them though, because they really like the Carolina Bays environment. That environment has the perfect habitat for these bears. They can find all the different food that they need, and they can also have room to travel. Now, despite their name, black bears aren't always black. They might be a cinnamon color up to a dark brown or of course dark black color. They can range in size. Females can get anywhere from about 250 pounds and males about 350 pounds. So around here, they're not really large. In other parts of North America, they can get much bigger than that, but their habitat really determines how big they get. As we continue to see more development in our area, we'll probably continue to have more encounters with bears because they are not picky eaters. They will eat anything they come across, and it's not usually meat. It's probably going to be your bird feeders, your garbage cans, any food that might be left out for pets. They're usually not that aggressive or that big of a threat to people, but they can smell really well. And so if they sniff out some food, they're gonna go find it. And that's usually the kinds of encounters we see with black bears. But it's important that if we do see them, we remain calm, back away slowly, don't get aggressive, and don't run. Just slowly back away and go and leave the bear alone. And probably if you just take the food away for a little while, they won't come back and mess with you because they're always looking for extra food. One of the ways we can tell what animals like to eat is by looking at their teeth. So looking at the skull, and this is a reproduction, so don't worry. Looking at the skull of the black bear, we can get an idea of the kinds of foods they like to eat. So yes, we do see these 4 large canines, which are really good for eating meat. So we know that black bears are carnivorous, but that only makes up about 20% of their diet. Because we also look on the back of the skull and see their teeth are kind of flat. And those flat teeth are also really good for chewing up plant materials. So plants actually make up insects, plants, grubs, fruits, nuts. Those things make up about 80% of the black bear's diet. And these flatter teeth, just like we have in our mouths, are good for chewing up plants. So that means they're not just carnivorous, they're not just herbivores, but they're omnivores, which means they eat both plants and meat. So even if you can always look at a skull. If you find the skull, even if you don't know what it is, you can always tell what they like to eat just by looking at the teeth. And you can also tell whether they are a predator or a prey animal by looking at the direction that their eyes point. So if you notice the black bear's eyes point forward, that means he's considered a predatory animal. But again, we're not too worried about him messing with us because he's mostly looking for those other parts of his diet. Black bears in Horry County do still hibernate, just like their relatives in other parts of the country. However, they might not have to hibernate as long because our climate is more moderate here. And really, the reason that they're hibernating has to do with the amount of food that's available. Not because it gets really cold here, but because their food supply might be a little bit less available for them. Usually they're going to hibernate between about November and mid-March to April. And this is also about the time that you see the mother bears starting to have their cubs. Once the spring comes in though and new food becomes available, we do start to see more bears in our area. Here at the Horry County Museum, we talk about the Native American history, cultural history, and natural history of Horry County, South Carolina. We have 4 changing galleries on our first floor where you can see things like photographs, textiles, or new exhibits like the one on the Waccamaw Indian people. That'll be up through January of 2022. Upstairs we have our permanent galleries, and you can see things like our military history, more Native American history, Grand Strand, and our agricultural and industry history. If you want to learn more about what life was like for the family farm and our agricultural history, we also have the L.W. Paul Living History Farm at 2279 Harris Shortcut Road. Both of these sites are free and we're open year-round, Tuesday through Saturday. The museum's open 9 to 5 and the farm is open 9 to 4. All of our programs are free, and feel free to check out our website at www.horrycountymuseum.org to find out more about what's going on at the museum and the farm.